My name is Sarah. Welcome to the It's a Sarah podcast. Today it is Friday, March 24, 2023, and this is episode 64. I love to knit, I love to crochet, and I love to talk, so that's the perfect combination for making this podcast. I make a podcast episode twice a week. And I'm coming to you from the Netherlands, so excuse my Dutchy English. So I actually make them in Dutch and in English, so be sure you pick the right one. I am looking forward to share my crafty adventures, my handwerkperikelen with you from the past days, from the last days, from the past days? I don't know. I have quite some. I want to start with what I'm wearing, but maybe, no, it's better I want to start with what I'm not wearing. Because I was standing in front of my closet this morning, and here in the Netherlands we are really in between seasons. It is officially spring now. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's raining cats and dogs. I think you say it like that. Rain and sunshine are alternating today, and when the sun is shining you can really feel it is warm. It is different than the winter sun. It is really a spring sun. It is warm. I went outside without a coat. I don't wear a coat often. I mainly wear a warm woolly cardigan, but that wasn't necessary because the temperatures are so nice. But it's also raining quite a lot. And I think that sound is really cozy here in my knitting office. But the time is near. I have to put away my warm winter woolly clothes. And I was standing in front of my closet and looking to what I have and what I didn't wear a lot the last weeks. And again, last weeks or past weeks, some of you really take the time to explain me so much about the English language and how I say things and how I should or could say them, and it's really fun to read, and I read them all, and I also, to be honest, forget a lot, but I always hope there's something staying in my head so I will remember it while talking. But the difference between last and past, maybe someone will can explain it to me. But I found my Glaciär vest, and I made it at the beginning of this year, I guess, in January. I can see it in my knitting book, and it was really fun to make. Oh no, that's not the right one. Yes, January. I made it in 1 week. It was a quick knit. But it's a pattern from Yerbo. It's also yarn from Yerbo. It was gifted to me by Edna. It was really a fun project to make. And I really love the yarn. It's Yerbo 4 threads wool. So you get 4 threads wool. It's Yerbo svensk wool. That's how I have to say it. Can you see the label? And it's a lovely color. It's a bit brown gray. It's color 59104. And the Glaciär vest, there were a few patterns designed for outdoor wearing, and I did some modifications, so I made it cropped. That's not the original pattern, and I chose the smallest size, extra small. And when you knit it top down, so you knit the back and then the front, and then you join them under the armholes, and when you join them you have to cast on 16 stitches on both sides. And I was a bit surprised because it's 16 stitches. That sounds as quite a lot to me. It is, I think it's a worsted, no, DK weight yarn. I knit it with 3.5 and 4 millimeter needles. But I followed the pattern, and when it was ready I was a bit doubting about the white, because it was quite white, and I made it cropped, so it was quite boxy, and I wasn't sure if boxy is my thing. And also the armholes were quite wide. I made a little video, so maybe I can put it in somewhere. But the armholes were quite low. You can, when I wear it over my dress, you can see my dress, and I wasn't sure. And also the color, I really love the color, but the color, not the color, but the color. There's not much difference between those words. The color, I mean. It smells amazing. Do I smell so good? I really love essential oils, and I put them all over me all the time. So now, it's a mix of them. I had no idea I smell so good. I have to put in a zipper here, and I didn't have a zipper, and I didn't. I was not sure if I wanted a zipper, but I think maybe the zipper gives it more a finished touch. I like to wear it open, but even then, I think the zipper is. The finishing touch. It's looking neater. It's making it neater. But I don't know what I want to do with it, because I can rip it out. It's not a lot of work, because it's only such a small part, because it's cropped. But I have to rip out the ribbing for the armholes on both sides, and then I have to rip out this, and then I can. I think I would only cast on 4 stitches instead of 16. The pattern is a 4-stitch repeat, and then it will be a lot smaller, but I'm also not quite sure about the color, if I love it. So maybe it is less work to buy a zipper, add it, sew it to the color, and then looking how that feels, how that is, if I feel comfortable with that shape and how it looks, and then I can decide to reknit the rest. But I'm also thinking about making a vest. We call it a Spencer. A vest in this yarn with this stitch, because I really love the structure of this stitch. And I also love the back, and I can also see me knitting a really deep modified version of the Glaciär vest without the collar, but with the V neckline, and smaller. So I have 1 skein left, so maybe I will try that before. I can play a bit with that skein, and I will come quite. And I can knit quite a bit, and then maybe I will do that first. I'm not sure. I don't feel the motivation to do it right now, but I really want a vest in this yarn, in this color, in this stitch pattern. But I decided it was good for me to show it in the episode, so to bring it a bit to the upside, to my consciousness, so it can be around me. Maybe I will lay it down on my table so I can see it regular. It isn't hidden in my closet between all the other cardigans and sweaters. So it will get some attention in my head, and suddenly I know what to do with it. So thank you for listening to it. Thank you for helping me with that. But what I am wearing is my Acer cardigan. It's an old one, but absolutely a favorite one. I see dog hair all around. It is a pattern by Christopers, and the same designer as the Felix cardigan, although this is absolutely a bit complicated, more complicated pattern than the Felix cardigan. But it's really a fun pattern, and I really love to wear it. I knit it in Cascade 220, do you say it? 220, do you say it like that? Yarn. And I really love the yarn, the color, and it stays, it does pill a bit, but not very heavily, very heavily. So it's really a nice cardigan. So Okay, what am I working on? I didn't finish anything. I could have finished my Novice sweater Junior Mohair edition. I was good on my way, but I was distracted by another knitting project, and that was absolutely okay. But I do want to show you my progress. Because I really like it. I really like it. I told you last Monday that I ripped out the ribbing and added I think 2 centimeters because it was getting shorter when it was off my needles. I still don't understand how that works, but I reknitted it. I added 2 centimeters, and the first time I started the ribbing at the stitch marker. And now before I started the ribbing, I also did that. The pattern doesn't tell you to do it. It's absolutely a nice pattern when you are a beginner knitter because it's very easy. I'm quite sure you also have an adult version, but you have only some increases in the yoke, and then the body is straight, and also the sleeves are straight with only increases in the last round. I will tell you a bit about that later. So it's really a fun and nice pattern, and I can see me knitting another one for my niece in scrap yarn because I really love the effect. It's such a little bit oversized, easy peasy sweater, but the yarn is really, I'm really glad that I picked these colors and so on. But first let me tell a bit, I did a decreased round in the round before I started ribbing. The pattern doesn't tell you to do, but the first time I think it was too straight, and I felt more for a bit a rounded bottom, and I didn't knew by then, but the sleeve is also this balloony effect because of the decrease round in the last round before the ribbing. And I want this shape also, not too much but just a little, in the body. And I was in the car when I was at that point, and maybe I did have the pattern, but I didn't want to count my stitches. I didn't want to do it on a professional way. I just thought, how should I decrease? How shall I decrease? And I decided every 10th and 11th stitch I would knit together. 10 is my favorite number, so I love 10 the most. So that sounds really, the most logic to me, and I know that isn't, but it worked really well, so I'm glad I did it. So I decreased every 10th stitch, 1 stitch, and at the end I had 7 stitches left or something, but that was okay for me. And then I did the ribbing. I also never count for the ribbing. Patterns always tell you from, oh, be sure you have an odd number because then it will work out. When I don't have an odd number, I just knit 2 together in my first ribbing round. Yeah, that goes much quicker than counting all those stitches. I'm a lazy knitter. No, I'm not lazy. I'm a lazy counter, I guess. But I was very pleased with the end result, and then I picked up the stitches for the sleeve, and I think I love sleeve knitting actually, because the first sleeve you are always figuring out, and the second sleeve you can just repeat, and I love that process. So I figured out alternating the skeins, because I did have 3 different colors, and that color had also changing colors in the skein. So it was a bit of a challenge to work that out without the difference between those colors would be too big. I'm not sure if it completely worked out, but this is my only option. So the first few rounds I did alternate, and then I knitted in this orange, pinky orange, and then I was at the brown, and I really loved the hard line. I really loved the soft transition from pink to pink in this part, and then the hard brown. Yeah, it really feels good for me. It's fun and nice how that works. And the color brown was transited. No, I don't know. It was going over in pink. And I was a bit worried that it would be too light here, but it's perfect. I'm absolutely happy with the end result, and I really love this balloony sleeve because you do all the decreases in the last round before the ribbing, and I think it's really cute. So I'm very happy. I added 1 centimeter to the length because I really want my knees to fit in when summer is over. So now I'm at the second sleeve, and it was my plan to finish it, but and it's really nice because I did all the counting, and now I exactly know when I was allowed to cut the pink one. You can see the stripes, the difference, the contrast is a bit bigger because I'm now at the darker part of this pinky orange, so this is a bit darker than that, but it is what it is. I hope I have enough. I guess I have, and otherwise it will be a little bit more brown. It is a scrappy sweater, but I hope it will work out. And yeah, it was really nice. So I have a fun appointment. I have a fun day tomorrow with quite some travel time. So it's actually quite good that this project isn't finished because I can finish it tomorrow. I'm not sure if I will go by train or by car, but I do have some knitting time. So yeah, really fun. But I didn't finish it because I was distracted by my Stria cardigan and the pattern from Andrea Mowry, and I'm really proud how far I've come. It is a slow project because I knit it on 2.5mm needles in one color, so it asks for quite some effort and discipline to work on it. And also the whole fisherman's rib stitch, it's really getting into my finger, so it's going a lot more smooth than in the beginning, but I still make mistakes every now and then. And I did find a tutorial how to fix mistakes, and yesterday I had a very, very, very big mistake in the raglan at the back. So at one point I thought, okay, it's at my back, at least I can see it myself. So when I'm wearing the cardigan, but I did try and at the end I did fix the mistake. So I was very proud that I put so much effort in it. But I split the sleeves and the body. I separate the sleeves, and now it's a bit busy here with all the needles. Normally I put my stitches on hold on a bit of waste yarn, but now I thought maybe it's a good idea when I put them on the needles immediately, so I can I have only a little bit left of my first skein, and I prefer to knit the sleeves first before finishing the body. So I will knit this up, and when this is up, I will knit the sleeve. And I do knit my cardigan at the 4mm needle. No, not at the 4, at a 2.5mm needle, and I always go up a needle size for my sleeves. And I thought because of the ribbing, it's a kind of rib stitch, of course, and I thought I don't have to go up very much, so I chose 2.75 needle size. And I'm a magic loop knitter. I do have the shorties, but we are not in love together, the shorties and me. So maybe we do need some time. And I did think about picking my shorties for the sleeves. I think 10 seconds, and then I thought no, I want magic loop. So I don't know if I'm just afraid for learning a new technique. I don't know. I did try the shorties. Maybe we are just not right for each other. It is also okay to be a magic loop knitter, but I don't make a final decision about that. Yeah. But magic loop it will be for this sleeves, and the other one I've put on a little cord with some cord stoppers, but it's quite busy and I don't like that, so I prefer to put it on waste yarn. But I will be happy that I won't have to put them back on this. That will save some time. So my rounds are very quick now, because when you are knitting top down, you have the big rounds, or oh, this is not in the round of course, but the rows are endless, and when you separate the sleeves from the body, I think I have 67 stitches on both sides, so it's more than 130 stitches, and they are gone. I don't have to knit them. Yeah, I do, but not in the same row. So that's very nice, and yeah, I really feel motivated to put some time in this cardigan. I really want to wear it. I love the color. The original pattern is of course with the stripes, and I can imagine that will motivate you to, when you are knitting to a stripe, you have the main color and then several colored stripes. And I really would like to have a stripy version of it too. Maybe all stripes or with the main color. I don't know. I will make a stripy cardigan. It's high on my list. A sock yarn, scrappy sock yarn cardigan. I have all those mini skeins and scraps of sock yarn laying around, and it was my plan to make socks of them. But then I realized that I already have quite some socks, and I think it's quite funny to make a cardigan of it. I do have a pattern, I do have the yarn, I do have the needles, I do have the motivation, I do have the time, but before I will cast on that, I have to do some other things. And one of the things is finishing this one. So yeah, I'm really happy with it so far, and yeah, I will knit on it a bit further, and I will hope I can wear it in a few weeks. The other thing I worked on quite a bit is not here with me, it's downstairs on my kitchen table. It is my granny square blanket that I'm making for my parents-in-law for their new bed. They moved to a new house, they had a new bed, they have a new bed. And my mother-in-law asked, she originally wanted to make a crochet granny square blanket herself. But she is not enjoying crafting anymore. She was a crocheter and a knitter before, but at some time she said, I'm not enjoying it anymore, and she put away all her stuff. And I asked her, do you really want to make it yourself? Or do you want to have the blanket? And she said, I actually want to have the blanket. I said, I made it for you. I can make it for you. My parents-in-law, we eat with them every week with the whole family. When our children were little, they stayed with their grandparents every Monday when we went to work, and then in the evening we have dinner with all the family, also with my husband's brothers and their families. At my not my grandparents, at my parents-in-law, and the children are not little anymore, so they don't need to go to their grandparents when we are working. I don't work, but we still eat there every Monday evening. So that's one of my favorite evenings, because it's always nice, and I really appreciate that my father-in-law is doing all the groceries every Monday, and my mother-in-law is cooking every Monday for, I think we are with 14 persons, and that's really, it would be a nightmare for me to do that, but it's really nice and cozy. So it's quite a big crochet work to make, but it's for me, it feels like a thank you for all those nice weekly dinners we have with them. So and they do other stuff for us too, so they really deserve a handmade crochet blanket. It's really nice for me to do something for them. So I measured, they moved last weekend, and when we were there I measured the blanket on their new bed, and it was the right size. I finished one row, and at the moment I am finishing the second row. I am adding it to the first row. I have made a video of it, I joined all the squares with the white yarn, and now I join the first and the 2 row together with the as you go method. I really prefer that. I don't like sewing granny squares together, so I crochet them together as you go. And when it's now laying on my kitchen table, it's not really a left work right now because it's so big and it's nice when it's laying flat. So I hope I can finish that today, and then I have to weave in some ends, and then I can start again with tiny squares, because then I will make the 3rd row. And I'm not quite sure, they don't want an all over blanket, but just at the bottom of the bed, at your feet, for the nice look. And I'm not sure how many rows I need for the right size, but when I have finished 4 rows, then I will measure again, and then we can look together what is a good idea to add a 5th row or maybe a border. We can see, but yeah, it's really nice working on that. Yeah. Oh, I made another thing. I almost forgot. I am working on those 3 projects, and I'm not allowed to cast on something new because I feel those projects I've shown you, they ask my time and effort, and they deserve my attention right now. And when I will cast on the new work, I think it sounds familiar for a lot, then all your energy and attention goes into that work. And I'm not enjoying it when I have too many projects on my needles. Of course I can put it away for a while, but it's not feeling, I don't know. So I did swatch. I was allowed to swatch. It's on my orange knitting needles. I really like them. These are orange metal knitting needles. I have them in several colors. They are from the thrift shop. In the Netherlands, we used to knit with those needles. When I was a child, we all knit all in pieces and then sew it together. Top-down knitting was not really a thing. I don't know how it's in other countries, how it used to be, but knitting continental and with circular needles, you don't have to knit continental and circular needles, of course, but that were all things I never heard of when I started knitting. And I have the idea with the internet and YouTube and Ravelry and Instagram, all the social media, that quite a lot of Dutch knitters are now also knitting top down or bottom up in one piece on circular needles. But it's quite new. That's my experience. But I still have those needles in all sizes and also wooden ones. And although I don't use them, I really love the look of them. They are standing in a vase on my new table in my knitting office. So I really enjoy the look of it. It looks cozy. But I did start a swatch on my DPNs 5mm needles, and the swatch is for another test knit for the CreaBea podcast. And I'm not sure if I already told, but the summer tea from Rebecca, Tolsta Tee. Oh, I forgot the name. I'm sorry, but I'm doing a test knit for her. I didn't start. It's quite a quick knit, I guess, and I have to finish some other stuff before I will start that one. But I did swatch, and it's quite a loose gauge, and I really prefer some tighter gauge. But for a summer tea, it feels really lovely. I knitted it with Holst Coast, and held double. This is the color Mushroom. I don't know if I will knit it in this color, but this was the one I reached when I needed some Holst Coast. And I did get gauge, so that's nice with 5mm needles. And then I thought, oh, now I can swatch for my second Corran cardigan. I also want to wear my Corran cardigan today, but when I put it on, it's more feeling like a cardigan for on my skirt and not for on my dresses, because of the V neckline with the buttons, too much buttons. Here are also too much buttons, but it's not bothering me, but it's more open when with the V line. I don't know, it didn't felt good, and I also don't want to wear my skirt because I'm very attached to my linen dresses. I really want to make another Corran cardigan with Holst Coast. I bought this one second-handed a few weeks ago in this lovely color brown. I also bought this one, and this is my this is Holst Super Soft. So this is a 100% wool, and it hasn't got any cotton in it. But I'm really thinking about making my first tee, I forgot the name, but my first tee from Rebecca in this one held double, because the fun of that pattern is that she's really stimulating you to and herself to discover all kinds of options. You have a basic raglan pattern for a tee, but you can do everything you like. In the test group there was someone with a ruffle. I don't think I'm a ruffle person, but it looked amazing. And also, you have the eyelets, you have the stripes, you can add a pearl bump row, and you can play. And my idea was to make a straight basic one for the first time, and then add woolly tattoos at the neckline, all the flowers. And I was so enjoying my woolly tattoo on my Felix cardigan. That I am thinking about that, and I really love this color, and I really think it goes well with this with my dresses. And maybe I will make this one for the spring. Then it's okay when I wear a long sleeved top under it. Maybe that's okay. I'm not sure. I also have Holst Coast in a dark gray color, in this color, and in the pink color. But I'm not sure what I will do. But I have some time to think about it, because the first new thing I will cast on is my Spencer Penelope. It is a vest from a Dutch designer, and it's an Elephos Lopi. It's a very quick knit, but it's perfect. I need it right now for these days. But it will be a quick knit. And when I have finished my Novice sweater tomorrow, I guess I will cast on that right immediately, because I want to knit it for 2 years now. It's laying in my stash. The pattern is here, the needles are there, the yarn is there. I want it, I need it, but it never happens, and that's happening to me all the time, because there are so many nice things to make. But I really need that cardigan in my wardrobe. But I did swatch on a 4mm needle. The Corran cardigan is originally of the Rebecca. The pattern tells you to knit it on a 5mm needle, but I'm really a loose knitter, so I knit it on a 4, and I still don't get gauge. I have too many stitches, so I'm thinking of going down one needle side to a 3.75, but I'm not sure, because I really love the fabric. It's really like a summer cardigan. It's so open and airy, and I really love it. And I also love the look and the stitch definition, and it's even not blocked yet. So I'm very happy with it, and I really feel motivated to cast on a second Corran cardigan. And I'm also doubting about, I did reply for the test knit to a short sleeved V neckline version, so I finished that. But the Corran cardigan has also the option for a round neckline and long sleeve. So I think I will make long sleeves, because just because I like it. And I'm not sure, maybe I will. I have quite some V neckline cardigans. I have my Ariana cardigan with the granny squares I made last summer, and I also have my Stria cardigan with a V neckline. I have my first version of the Corran cardigan. I also have a Mema cardigan. That's does it have a V neckline? I think, or it's straight. I'm not sure. But I have quite some V necklines, and with my dresses, round necklines are suiting better, I guess. So maybe I will make my second one with a round neckline, but I don't have to decide immediately, because it's a bottom-up pattern, and I can knit I only have to decide when I'm at the armhole length. Then you start the decreases for the V neckline if you want to. So when you are splitting. So I have quite some time to decide. And I also am not casting on it one of these days. But I really, really, really love, yeah, it's such a fun pattern. And I really love this stitch pattern. And in the beginning it is not difficult, but it was paying a lot of attention from me. I was making mistakes, but after a while, and I felt it also when I was knitting this swatch. It's in my fingers, in my head, and it goes la 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 la, so smooth and easy, and yeah, it's really nice. I really, really love it. So if you are looking for a nice summer cardigan, I can absolutely recommend it. Yeah, and I'm also loving it in the Holst Coast. So I think that was all I want to share with you. I'm really looking forward to this weekend. Tomorrow I have a nice day with some knitting friends, and I'm not quite sure if I will film because mainly when I love to film when I'm alone, but when I am doing social activities, then I forgot or I don't feel how do you say it? I'm not feeling comfortable filming, so I don't know. Maybe I have some content for tomorrow, and maybe I'm not. I will see. But I will knit, and I think I have quite some knitting time at Sunday, so that is nice. So I hope you will. Okay, do it over, Sarah. I hope you will have some knitting time too this weekend. And you can enjoy early spring. Oh, there's an hair, but it's still stuck at my head, I feel. I hope you can enjoy some springtime, or maybe there are different seasons all over the world, of course. There are also parts of the world where it's getting autumn right now. Oh, I also want to go into autumn. Into fall. I would love that. I also love the summer, but not too much sun and too much warmth. Okay, I wish you a very nice weekend, and I see you Monday. Bye bye.